What is the biggest mistake that prospective MBA students or graduate students make? What is it? Now, in all honesty, there are many big mistakes that you can make as a prospective graduate student. But over my years, both in full-time enrollment management and these past 13 years with Grad School Road Map, in both of those situations, I've observed the same mistake over and over and over again. What is that mistake? It is not doing adequate research when? Before you apply. This is absolutely critical. Not doing adequate research before you apply. Many applicants do not take the time to do their own homework, to take a look at what's important to them from their vantage point. Not word of mouth, not a ranking, but digging deeper and really getting at the heart of what these institutions are about that they're considering to apply. So how do you help to avoid this mistake? Well, first of all, obviously, at the beginning, and you still have, if you're applying for the fall of 2022, next year, you have plenty of time to still do some very, very good research here. That's the good news. You've got plenty of time. This is only June. I would suggest that you spread the net wide. You start out with a large group of options, a large group. In my opinion, it's beneficial to have at least, when you're first researching programs, 15 or 20 programs on that list. That's how many you should start off with. Now, of course, you're going to narrow that down. You're not going to apply to all of these, but that's where you want to start. To help you with that, create a spreadsheet. And my suggestion is, whichever column you choose to do this, list your options in alphabetical order. Don't, at this point, they're all equal. You should not have any priority list yet. You're just at the beginning of doing some comparison shopping here. And what you want to do is, on the other column of the spreadsheet, put a list of the questions, the concerns, the aspects of these programs that you would like to investigate. What is most important to you? If you're wondering how many, here's a list of just how many different areas many prospective students will evaluate. These are all excellent. They may not all apply to you. You may choose not to look at every single one of these, and this is not an exhaustive list. But I would like to draw your attention to, on the second column in from the left down toward the bottom, the third one from the end of this list in the second column says interaction with current students and alumni. This, to me, is a no-brainer. This is just common sense. If you're thinking about going to a particular or applying to and maybe enrolling in a particular program at a particular university, I would think one of the minimum research endeavors you would take on is to contact current students and or recent graduates to ask them about their experience. And I'd like to suggest 2 questions. These same 2 questions every time you speak with a current student or an alumnus. Here are, you could ask more, but I would suggest at least these 2. First, what did you or do you like most and least about this program? They should be able to answer both of those. And the reason for that is because no graduate program is perfect. Every program has room for improvement. And if a student tells you this is a perfect program, there's no problems, I wouldn't be interested in going there. That seems very shady and dishonest. So you want to ask them to honestly tell you what they liked most and least about the program. That's the first question. Question 2, knowing what you know now, if you knew back when you were getting ready to attend this program, what you now know about it, would you still go? Would your decision still be the same, or would you have made a different choice? Very, very telling questions, very helpful. And on your spreadsheet, we went back to creating your spreadsheet. That ought to be one of the items. What do students and alumni say about this program? That should be one of the items you're filling in for every single one of your options. What does this mean? It means that this research process takes time. This isn't something you do in a day or even a week. It may take a month or two. And that's some of the, I can't tell you how valuable that investment of your time is. I've worked with many coaching clients. I cannot tell you how many of them, at least 60 or 70%, maybe more, where in the beginning, they are all set about where they want to go. They already have their list. And then I say, well, now, wait a minute. Let's have you do some research. Let's expand this a little bit. So they do. I cannot tell you how many times their priority list completely changes. And an institution that they thought would be in their top 3 ends up being at the bottom of the list. And an institution they may not have even been thinking about becomes their first choice, just by virtue of taking some time to do their homework. When I was Dean of Admissions at Columbia and at Booth, I held open office hours for current students to come in and meet with me. And obviously, as you can imagine, if a student wanted to come in and meet with me, they weren't usually coming in because they wanted to compliment the program and say, oh, I love it here. I'm having a wonderful time. They didn't need to come in to see me to talk about that. They were usually coming in to see me because they were upset about something. Something was bothering them. They were I had students at both institutions, Columbia and Booth, would come in and say, Dean Martin, I hate it here. This was the worst mistake I ever made. And I was so disheartened because how many people, you don't get 5 and 10 graduate degrees. You usually get 1 or 2. It's a, you do this once in a lifetime or maybe twice. And to have someone come into my office and be so upset and so mad and angry, that just really was hard for me. And when I would talk with them, one of the things I would ask is, how did you decide to come here? And they would almost look at me like there was something wrong with me. And if it was at Columbia, they would say, you're the Ivy League. And I wanted to say, and so what does that mean? What does that mean? Did you review? Did you take a look at our faculty? Did you visit our campus? Did you talk with our students? Did you contact our alumni? Did you take a look at the curriculum? Did you try to visit campus? Did you do any of these things? No, they hadn't. It was just because Columbia was in the Ivy League. That's all they needed to know. At Chicago Booth, some students were so amazed that we had 90 Nobel Prize winners from the University of Chicago over the years. That is a very incredible situation, but what does that have to do with you getting an education there? Very little, but that was their guiding reason for applying. So I implore you, please, this is your degree. It's your education, your time, your financial resources, and your success in life. Believe me. I hope you'll believe me. I know that I've been out of college for many years now, and I've been working this is my 41st year, 28 years in full-time, 13 years with Grad School Road Map. This is my 41st year of working. I'm telling you, your success in life is very, very, very much not related to where you go to school. It isn't. At the end of the day, it's about who you are and what's in here. What's in here? What do you bring to the table? Do you have integrity? Do you have ability? Do you have talent? Are you a person of your word? Do you get results? That's what's going to take you where you're going to go ultimately in your career. Yes, do you need to have a master's or maybe PhD so that you can apply for some jobs? Sure. Or advance in your position? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, what's going to take you where you're going to go is not the particular rank or reputation of the school you attended. Believe me. So please, now, one more thing here. Once you got your spreadsheet, obviously take the time to do some genuine comparison shopping. In closing, on this point, remember, your perceptions about the institutions to which you're going to apply should come at the end of the research that you do, not before you ever do any.